If you enjoy the content, I would appreciate you hitting the subscribe button and checking out my socials. Tom Cruise has finally graced us with his return back to Tier 1 CS, with the last tournament he played being over a year ago with the Ninjas. Dev1ce's first game back in Astralis was in the CCT North Europe Series 2 tournament against Tricked and had a great game back. Heya I'm Smirky, and today I want to look at Dev1ce and how he looked on his first day back, so let's begin. Now I'm going to look overall at his style and how he utilises the AWP. In a similar style you might see from Vu, Hawker or King T. And if you haven't checked out King T, I highly recommend doing so, and his Nico video is one of my personal favourites. Dev1ce loves to use this by sitting passively in an area, peeking into CT territory, and just waiting for long periods. Mixing this with how dynamic his opening peaks are, like for example one round he holds Con, next round he's peeking ramp, and the one after he's in apps, punishing those who decide to seek for information or push as a reaction without knowing he's there. And on a map like Mirage, where once mid control is taken by the Ts, the CTs are expected to retake some area like ramp, allowing Dev1ce to shine. Round 21 is a round I really enjoyed from Dev1ce, even if it's an anti-eco. In this round, Dev1ce goes onto an angle and catches Quez. Knowing he's killed a ramp player, and that position being typically played by only one person, he's going to push up and cut off the rotations from Hell, allowing his teammates in Zip next to push out and clear the other angles. Beautifully played, and this round showed the power of punishing and waiting.
He's just standing there, menacingly.
Generally, Dev1ce is a passive player, typically playing towards the back of the squad. This means he will hold an angle while the rest of his team goes up and clears an area, knowing they can't get peeked from a window or a doorway that Dev1ce is holding. Like in round 9, where Dev1ce was waiting for his mid players to clear the path for him, then once ready, he can flash them out, push up, and take another angle as his teammates clear an area, repeating the same cycle. And this is something he does very commonly during executes, as it's the same principle. Hold an angle your teammates can get peeked from, wait for your squad to make room, and then push in afterwards, getting ready to take another angle. I'll talk about more about him and executes in a second, but this style of AWPing on his T side is something I think a lot of passive AWPers should aim to be like, while of course having some rounds where you take the risk. As Dev1ce is typically towards the back of the squad, holding angles and using little util, it makes sense for him to throw utility for the executes. This allows the rifles to go out with flashbangs, and once the CTs are no longer blind, he should be posted onto an open angle, denying the CTs from peeking. And with pretty much every execute I saw from Astralis, it was the exact same with AWP or no AWP, as that's the role he wants, and that's the role the Astralis system has provided him. And it is also worth noting, he does have a bigger chance of being left into the clutches, so I can only assume Astralis has trust in him. However, there was a round where Astralis had their aggressive players down secret on Nuke, and had their more passive players in Zipex and Dev1ce on ramp. Because of this and his good aim, it doesn't make sense for him to sit super far back and be Zipex, but I know someone who would love to. So he will entry with the rifle. And just take a look at his mechanics. With his crosshair placement and his aim, it's still there. Now for his CT side. Dev1ce's CT side was the talk of the town, and was one of the reasons why his name was so talked about and showcased, as his CT dynamic AWPing placed fear on his opposing rifles, as they had no idea where he was and might just walk into him. Inspiring many young AWPers trying to replicate a difficult but effective playstyle. We will have similar scenarios where Dev1ce will try and go for an opening peek, and even if he isn't sure that he was spotted, he still rotates onto short, where Prime walks into his crosshair without a flashbang. This style, especially when done so effectively and silently like Dev1ce, will either force the enemies to flash every angle creating presence, or force the enemies to shift walk into his scope. Astralis made sure that the system will play around him, allowing him to have the freedom to roam around the maps like a whistle in the wind, where Dev1ce and GFX will swap positions to have a chance to get an opening kill onto ramp. But after failing, he will later switch back with GFX and go garage, potentially catching Tricked off guard if they wanted to go outside after spotting Dev1ce on ramp. Maps like Mirage and Nuke, where rotations allows players to be versatile and silent, really boost Dev1ce's impact, unlike a map like Vertigo, where every step you make, your enemies can hear it from below. Dev1ce ended his series with a monstrous rating of 1.66. So, does this mean he's back and will make top 5 next year?
No.
I think the game against Tricked gave a nice showcase of what's to come with Dev1ce's return. However, I don't think he was heavily tested against Tricked.
Explain yourself.
But if he meets a tier 1 team where they will use pop flashes effectively and will be more proactive on the information they have against Tom Cruise, that's when the Astralis system and Dev1ce's slow, patient and dynamic playstyle will be tested. Your CT Inferno A is boring. Check out this video I did about Vitality's triple nades for second mid. Apart from that, thanks for watching, see you in a bit.